July 23, 1942, 5:18 a.m. Treblinka Forest, Nazi-occupied Poland. The train screams before it stops. Metal wheels grind against rusted rails, throwing sparks into the gray morning. Steam hisses from the engine like an animal in pain. The doors of the cattle cars rattle, swollen from days of heat and human weight pressing against them from inside. Then silence. Inside the boxcar, no one speaks. There is no room to move. Bodies are folded together, mothers clutching children, old men bracing themselves against splintered wood, teenagers staring at nothing. The air smells of sweat, urine, fear, and iron. Someone has died during the night. No one has space to lay them down. You can almost feel it, the pressure of too many lives packed into one space, waiting for whatever comes next. Suddenly, boots strike gravel outside. German voices bark orders. A rifle butt slams into the door. The metal latch is ripped open. Light explodes into the darkness. The doors slide apart and the smell of pine forest mixes with rot and diesel fuel. SS men in gray-green uniforms stand waiting. Ukrainian guards beside them clutch rifles. Their faces are blank, practiced, bored, rouse, everybody out. People spill from the cars like broken cargo. Some fall. Some are dragged. Some can't stand anymore. Children blink against the sunlight, confused by how beautiful the trees look for a place surrounded by barbed wire. A sign stands near the platform. It reads, Treblinka Transit Camp, transit. A word that still sounds safe, still sounds temporary, still allows hope to breathe. The Nazis designed it that way. Treblinka wasn't built like a prison camp. There were no barracks for long-term prisoners, no factories, no fields to work, no reason to stay. Because nobody was meant to. This place had only one purpose, death. But the victims didn't know that yet. They are herded down a narrow corridor of fencing called the Schleuse, the tube. Barbed wire walls rise on both sides, woven with pine branches to hide what lies beyond. It feels like walking into the throat of something alive. An SS officer steps forward. His boots shine. His voice is calm. You are in a resettlement camp. You will bathe. You will receive food. You will travel onward to work in the East. People cling to those words. Work, bath, resettlement. Some even feel relief. The journey is finally over. A woman named Rivka, 26 years old, holds her son's hand tighter. He asks if his father will meet them inside. She lies and says yes. Because lying still feels kinder than the truth she herself doesn't yet know. Nearby, an elderly rabbi whispers a prayer under his breath. His lips tremble, but not from cold, from instinct. Something here feels wrong. The air is too quiet. No birds sing. No smoke rises from kitchens. No laughter. Just wind sliding through trees and the dull mechanical rhythm of death pretending to be order. Guards separate the crowd. Men to the left. Women and children to the right. Families break apart in seconds. A husband reaches for his wife. A guard slams a rifle into his ribs. A child screams as fingers are pried loose. That scream echoes longer than any gunshot. On the men's side, prisoners in striped uniforms appear. They are called Sonderkommando, Jewish prisoners forced to work for the Germans. Their faces look hollow, eyes sunken like they've already seen the end of the world. They speak softly. Remember your number. Walk slowly. Do what they say. One of them meets Rivka's eyes for half a second. He wants to warn her. But if he does, he will die. So instead, he lowers his gaze and keeps walking. The women and children are pushed toward a low building painted to look like a bathhouse. A fake clock hangs above the entrance. Flower pots sit near the walls. Even a Red Cross symbol is painted on the side. The Nazis understood psychology. If people believed they were safe, they wouldn't resist. If they didn't resist, the killing could happen faster, more efficiently, more quietly. Inside, SS officer Kurt Franz watches the process. He carries a whip. He smiles when people move fast. He whips when they don't. Clothes off, shoes in pairs. Remember your hook number. Hooks, numbers. Order in chaos. Women undress beside strangers. Modesty dies before the body does. Mothers turn their backs so daughters won't see shame. Elderly women cry without tears left. Hair is cut. Jewelry is taken. Photographs fall to the floor and are crushed under boots. Rivka folds her dress carefully as if she will need it later. Her son asks why everyone looks scared. She tells him they're tired, but her hands won't stop shaking. Outside, engines rumble. Not trucks. Not trains. Something heavier. Something breathing. Beyond the pine-woven fences, concrete chambers wait. Gas chambers disguised as showers. Carbon monoxide pipes already warm. SS men check valves like mechanics tuning an engine. Except this engine doesn't move forward. It erases. And in a few minutes, the people walking naked into Treblinka's bathhouse will learn the truth the Nazis never intended them to escape, because Treblinka was never a camp. It was a stopwatch, a conveyor belt, a machine designed to turn hope into silence. And the doors are about to close. The door slams behind them, not loudly, not dramatically, just a thick final thud of wood against steel. Inside the bathhouse, the air feels wrong, too warm, too still. No steam, no water. Just bodies packed shoulder to shoulder, skin touching skin, breath colliding with breath. The room is concrete, low-ceilinged, with fake shower heads bolted above. Pipes snake along the walls, but none drip. A child reaches up and twists a nozzle. Nothing comes out. Rivka feels her son's hand tighten around hers. "You said bath," he whispers. She opens her mouth to answer. Before she can, the doors behind them are sealed with iron bars. Bolts slide into place. Metal screams against metal. The sound cuts through the room like a blade. People turn, eyes widen. Someone pounds the door. Another shouts in Polish, then Yiddish, then German. No one answers. Outside, SS men move calmly, efficiently, like workers starting a factory shift. One checks a watch. Another lights a cigarette. A third signals to the engine operator. Behind the chamber, a Soviet tank engine captured and repurposed roars to life. It coughs once, twice, then settles into a steady murderous rhythm. Thump, thump, thump. A pipe runs from its exhaust directly into the chamber. At first, nothing happens. Inside, people whisper. Maybe it's broken. Maybe water is coming. Stay calm. Then the air changes. It's subtle at first, a metallic taste, like biting a coin. Rivka inhales and her lungs sting. Someone coughs, then another, then dozens. Carbon monoxide begins flooding the room. Colorless, odorless, invisible, deadly. Panic ripples like electricity. A woman screams, "There's no air." People surge toward the door. Bodies crash together. Children are lifted overhead, searching for oxygen that doesn't exist. Nails scrape concrete. The pounding becomes frantic. Open! Open! Inside the chamber, sound explodes, crying, praying, shouting, choking. The room shakes from human pressure trying to reverse time itself. Rivka drops to her knees, pulling her son down with her. She presses his face into her chest, trying to filter poison with love. It doesn't work. His breathing speeds up. So does hers. Carbon monoxide binds to blood faster than oxygen. Every breath steals life instead of giving it. Heads spin, legs weaken. Vision tunnels. People at the front collapse first. Then those behind them fall on top. A tower of humanity forms, twisting, crushing, suffocating even before the gas finishes its work. A man claws at his throat. A woman whispers a final prayer. A child calls for a mother already unconscious. Minutes stretch like hours. Then silence begins, one by one. Thud, thud, thud. Bodies stop moving. After about 20 minutes, the engine is shut off. Outside, SS officer Franz Stangl, Treblinka's commandant, nods slightly, not in satisfaction, in routine. The doors are not opened immediately. They wait. Gas settles. Death completes its paperwork. Only then do the Sonderkommando receive the order. Loss. Open. The iron bars are pulled back. The doors swing wide. What spills out is not people. It's a collapse. Bodies tumble forward, blue-lipped, tangled together in unnatural shapes. Eyes open but empty. Faces frozen in whatever emotion death captured last: fear, surprise, pleading. The Sonderkommando step in. They wear gloves made from scraps. Some have rags tied around their faces. Not to block the smell, nothing blocks it, but to survive long enough to keep working. One prisoner, Abraham, 19 years old, grabs a corpse by the shoulders. It's light, too light. He realizes it's a child. He hesitates. A guard raises a rifle. Abraham keeps moving. Inside the chamber, heat lingers. Sweat still beads on dead skin. Some bodies are standing, frozen where oxygen abandoned them. Others are crushed beneath piles of family members. The Sonderkommando untangle the dead. They search mouths for gold teeth. They cut hair from women's heads. They remove rings that won't slide off. Each body becomes inventory. Each human becomes material. Outside, mass graves wait. At first, Treblinka buried its victims. Bulldozers pushed earth over thousands at a time. But by late 1942, the smell began to rise. Black liquid seeped into the soil. The forest itself seemed to rot. So the Nazis changed methods. They began burning. Railway tracks were laid like grills. Bodies stacked in layers. Wood beneath. Gasoline poured over skin and bone. Then fire. The flames roar day and night, turning human history into smoke that drifts above Polish villages. Ash falls like gray snow. Some villagers think it's dust. It's not. It's people. Back inside the camp, another train is already arriving. Whistles cut through the forest. Steam rises. Another set of doors will open. Another group will believe in showers. Another batch of lies will be delivered with rifles and smiles. And the Sonderkommando know something worse than death itself. They know the system is perfect, perfectly cruel, perfectly fast, perfectly endless. But in the shadows of Treblinka, something dangerous is beginning to grow. Not fear, not despair, but the first quiet thought of rebellion. Because some of the prisoners have started asking a forbidden question. If we are already dead, what do we have left to lose? And that question will soon turn Treblinka's machine against itself.